You wanted a second championship ring to go for this little guy, and you got it.
Oh, man, thank the Lord we got it, because I didn't want to fight over the same one.
That was 4 years ago on the field in Indianapolis after the Super Bowl. Chase Blackburn celebrating the proudest day of his football life. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, and he finished his playing career just last year. It all started at Marysville High School, and as we approach the Super Bowl's 50th anniversary, the NFL's honoring every school of every player who played on a Super Sunday. Obviously, it takes a special person to reach an Olympic Games, but sometimes that special is not naturally given. It is crafted, created by hand, day after day. And that's what we wanted to show you tonight. So, we recently spent a day with Ohio State wrestler Kyle Snyder, the defending world champion in his weight class and a strong candidate to win gold in Rio. Here's what Kyle does on a typical training day for the biggest tournament of his life.
Jared Smalley spoke with Abby and her family. He joins us now live in Rio with more. How exciting, Jared.
Oh, good evening, Katie. This is a great case of lost and found. Duke assistant football coach Sam McGrath, about a year ago, he pulls into the office, he looks down on the ground, and he sees a lost student ID. He picks it up, the picture on it, he thinks the girl's kind of cute. So he goes inside, he finds her on email, he messages her. They arrange to meet the next day. They meet, they went on their first date that night. Here they are a year later, they're engaged to be married. But before all that, Abby Johnston has one further task that has some importance to it, to try to win an Olympic medal tomorrow. It is an absolute pleasure to be joined by the youngest American wrestler to win a gold medal. Kyle Snyder, congratulations, making Buckeye Nation very proud today. Let's start from the beginning of your day. You had some tough matches just to get to the gold medal final. You were down 4-0 at one point in your semifinal match, and you had this furious rally to win. As you look back through the whole day, a one-day tournament, what sticks out most to you? Is it this medal or is it something along the way?
Well, I mean, I try not to focus all my energy into the gold medal or to the winning or to the accolades. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most is just the fun that I had wrestling.
We have spared no expense here tonight, recreating our own miniature golf course in the studio. We did this for a reason. Again, there's no windmills or any of that other silly stuff. But to some people, miniature golf isn't all that silly. In fact, to one Central Ohio man, miniature golf is his way of life. And he might be the best in America at it. Audrey Hassan explains. These critical moments in these tight football games, sometimes it really is a matter of inches to decide a winner and loser. This is 4th down and 1. This is in the second overtime. Buckeyes need this yard to continue their drive and perhaps score the game-winning touchdown. Watch how close it is for J.T. Barrett. Gets right up to the line of scrimmage, given forward progress just across that yellow line. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh disagrees with the spot. The officials review it. They uphold it. And then on the next play, Curtis Samuel runs to the end zone, setting off a wild celebration in Ohio Stadium. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give you the experience, the full tour. Our expert photographer, Michael Klug, is going to lead the way here. We're just going to take you on the experience, what it's like to walk out the tunnel and see the field for Game 2 of the World Series. And you will notice the tarp is out on the field tonight. The batting cage has not been placed out yet, so warm-ups are a little bit delayed, but they're still hoping to get this thing started on time tonight. The gates to the stadium just opened about 5 minutes ago, so I want to show you a couple things. First of all those people, you see all those people who crowded out there in right center field? Those are standing room only seats that people likely paid more than $1,300 to get into. And when the gates open, they had to be right there so they could run right to that spot. Then up here in left field, there's all those people who crammed into those gates just as soon as they could get in here so they could get their seat.
Jared Smalley is in Cleveland. He has a live update for us. And boy, Jared, this went all the way to a 10th inning. What heartbreak for Cleveland fans.
Yeah, it made perfect sense that the two teams who had waited the longest to win a championship had to wait even longer to win it in Game 7. The game started on a Tuesday. It ended early Wednesday morning here just moments ago, and the Cubs scoring 2 runs in the top of the 10th inning off reliever Brian Shaw. They actually intentionally walked a couple batters. We've met thousands of people and families affected by autism, sharing their stories and raising their voices. And tonight we return in search of the next piece of the autism puzzle. Good evening and welcome to the Autism Puzzle. I'm Jared Smalley.
And I'm Ellie Merritt.
Between the costs and stress and the fear of autism, it can be a severe challenge for parents, for some too much. Occasionally, children with a significant special need end up in foster care and without access to the supports they need. We met some passionate people in Central Ohio upholding the mission that family comes first.
New video that supports some of the elements of the swimmer's story. Jared?
Yeah, good evening, Colleen and Mike. The United States Olympic Committee tonight has offered an apology to the city of Rio for the behavior of those 4 swimmers who they say falsely reported at robbery over the weekend, and now 2 of them are headed home tonight. You know, they say a crystal ball can show you your future, and for the Ohio 14, as in the 14 Buckeyes who hope to get drafted this week at the NFL Draft, this could work just about as well as any other method for figuring out where they'll actually go. But for the 5 Buckeyes invited to the draft in Chicago, at least we have an idea where they could be headed. By the way, right across the road here, hey, Carl,
Yeah?
OH. He's an Ohio State grad, grew up in Akron, so he's my new best friend here tonight. And going to be a very interesting scene as we go through the next 90 minutes or so. We're going to bring it to you live. We'll start with, at the very top of the draft, Joey Bosa, the number 3 pick. We knew that was quarterback at 1 and 2. We did not necessarily think San Diego was going to be the fit for Bosa. And in our conversations with Joey, he did not mention San Diego as a fit. In fact, he's never been to San Diego before, he said after the draft. But he says he is thrilled to get that number 3 pick. It was a really emotional moment for him. And he says tonight, after he came off the board, it was a moment of reflection about his trip through Ohio State to get to this point.
Breaking news from NBC4.
All right, welcome back into the NBC4 studios. I'm Jared Smiley. We're going to break back into programming right now because we want to take you live out to Oakland, California. LeBron James at the podium, the NBA Finals MVP. Speaking live.
And I believed in that.
This is setting up to be a really interesting summer for LeBron James, not only because of the free agency. Yes, in all likelihood, he's going to be a Cavalier next year. What about the Olympic Games? He has won 2 gold medals. He's competed in 3 Olympic Games. Will he be back to win a 3rd gold medal? A lot of people think he's going to skip the Olympics this year. We mentioned Guy and Tree a little ago, Mike. You want to see a live look at Guy and Tree? Mm-hmm. We'll get you Guy and Tree. He's right over here. Look at him. Are his arms tired? Yeah, betcha. But he's not going anywhere.
The heart of American soccer beats in Columbus. U.S. men's national team members said before tonight's match this was the biggest they've ever played because a failure to win meant a real risk of not qualifying for the 2018 World Cup. So Guatemala beat the Americans in the first leg of their 2-leg series. That was Friday. This was Tuesday, and this was an absolute rout. 12th minute. Ball misplayed in the box, and Clint Dempsey buries the evidence. 1-0 USA with more on the way. 35th minute. On the set piece, big Jeff Cameron ahead above everyone else using his noggin on net. Americans up 2-0 at the half, and 30 seconds into the second half, more attacking. Graham Zusi races to the ball, and the American Outlaws go wild. Midway through the second, Crew SC's Ethan Fenley gets his first ever action in Moffrey Stadium with the national team, and he gets robbed of a goal. He's called offsides there, but clearly he was not. Oh, to ease the pain, moments later, Josie Altidore scores the final tally. A 4-0 American win in a critical pressure spot. The Americans deliver once again in Columbus. 16 years ago, Ohio Stadium went through its biggest renovation project ever. More than $190 million to modernize the shoe and increase the capacity. Another renovation came 2 years ago in the south end zone. And today, Ohio State says it will invest once again in its iconic stadium. Some significant renovations will begin following this coming football season, most notably a reconstruction of the B deck around the stadium and the addition of 35 more loge boxes and 12 more luxury suites. Ohio Stadium will lose about 2,600 seats in the process here. The plan would cost about $42 million, and construction would begin next year.
This is a response to.
All right, here's Ohio State's official photo of the 2015-2016 basketball freshman class. And as of tonight, here's how many of those players will still be in the program next year. 3 freshmen in the past 2 days have requested transfers, including A.J. Harris and Mickey Mitchell today. Yesterday, Daniel Giddens made the same request from OSU. Clearly, something's amiss right now. Last year's #1 pick for the Blue Jackets, defenseman Zach Werenski, is turning pro. He agreed to a 3-year entry-level contract with the Blue Jackets today. He just finished his sophomore season at the University of Michigan. He is still just 18 years old. He's going to make his pro debut. He'll do it Friday with the Jackets AHL affiliate in Cleveland. We had a chance to see them there at that game at Ohio State. Very talented young player, but again, 18 years old. So a lot of growing up to do still, but talent is high.
All right. Thanks, Jared.
Welcome back. The original motivation to create the autism puzzle, it came from a 2-year-old boy named Brady. He'd been diagnosed with autism and he struggled with speech delays. He also happens to be my oldest son, and over the years, thanks to some incredible people, we've climbed some very steep steps in his autism journey.
Hi, I'm Brady. Hi, I'm Brady.
He's a tough guy to forget. It's been a long road, about 9 years long, and when you go back, you realize how far Brady's come. When Brady was first diagnosed with autism, he had lost all speech. He'd make sounds, but would not form real words. Brady started speech therapy at 16 months old, and the progress was slow and steady. But when Brady turned 4, he met Lindsay.
Brady was one of my greatest teachers, and he still is to this day, because I can look back at these videos and say, hey, look where this kid was. Look at how he wasn't talking, and look at him now.
Lindsay Cargill is a speech pathologist at Bridgeway Academy in Columbus. She specializes in augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC.
What we're doing with LAMP is attempting to recreate the neuromotor pathways associated with natural language development. So when a child first says the word mama, mommy, they don't really know what they're saying. They're putting their lips together, they're opening and closing their jaw, they're feeling the vibration in their vocal folds, they're hearing the word mama, and then what does mama do? She says, yay, that's me, I'm mama. We're trying to take the same exact thing and do it on a device.
Cheetos. I love these Cheetos.
Brady started using his device 6 years ago, and over that time, Lindsay took frequent videos to keep track of his progress.
When he started imitating the words on the device, so he would say something, and then he would repeat it verbally. So he started to become his own verbal model. He would say a color, yellow, and then he would repeat, yayo.
Yellow. Yellow.
Yayo. It was that moment where we could really see the potential for his speech development.
Brady has since handed down his device to his younger brother, Tyler, who continues to build new pathways to his speech in his own unique way.
Tyler uses words that are related to stickers because that's what he's into. So he easily learned the words on and off. Off. To, remove a sticker and say off, and then he'd start imitating the word off as well, and then to stick it on something, be it the computer, or I've got a picture of him covering my glasses with stickers. If you don't want me to do something, you can say, uh-huh.
The AAC plan allowed Brady to not just communicate, but engage, and today, he can do more than talk. He can sing the hits.
So I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna hold you like I'm saying goodbye.
Just looking back at where he was, that helps me to see a kid that is like Brady and set the bar really high, because I know that we can achieve much higher potentials when we don't look at a child's previous difficulties.
Brady and Tyler's mommy, all the therapists who've worked for them for years, it's impossible to give them enough gratitude for what they've done. Pretty special people.
You're in trouble. He's a charmer.
Yeah, he is.
Good night.